Across the world and even in Cameroon, education is cheap and accessible, especially at the primary level. However, educational attainment is still a barrier. It is about deep-rooted beliefs.
Every day you see young girls being given off to older men, and they cannot say a word because you are just to obey. And now they take the context of the religion and put over it, but that is not what Islam says. Islam gives you the right, the opportunity to educate your girl child.
I grew up in a community where girls going to school was not just the problem, staying in school was. Norms and traditions still whisper into the ears of families. These mindsets don't just hold girls back, they shape their dreams.
I started activism at the age of 10, and that was when I had one of my first experiences of what injustice meant. My best friend at the time, she was 12. We didn't even have periods yet or breasts. And then she just came to school and I was like, my mom says I should go and get married. Deep down, I knew something was wrong and I was trying to talk to people. Is this right? Can we help her? And by the time I could talk to somebody that would listen to me to go to where she was, she already left. And so from then, I began to channel the energy I was feeling into attending girl leadership boot camps and really understanding, putting a name to the issues I was seeing.
We lost our dad when we were really young. I was about 8. And this is my mom just left with that sole responsibility of taking care of us alone. 4 of us, 4 kids. And I come from so we have like a matrilineal succession. So like if the man dies, it doesn't go to his wife, it's his brothers that inherit property and all of that. So my mom was literally left alone to take care of us, you understand? And if she was not educated, if she did not have a job, if she did not have like a salary, if she did not have any financial backing, we probably would have been on the street.
I met Rukaya when she was in class 5, and she was a very brilliant young girl, and she wanted to go to school, much like any other young girl within the community. When Rukaya completed class 6, she was excited that she was going to get to the secondary school. But unfortunately, the father told Rukaya that she wasn't going to go to school, but the brother would, and she was in the same class with the brother. So Rukaya rushed to me and told me that my dad has said I will not go to school, and I will just see the first person that comes to get married, I will just give you out. I cannot spend money on her and then another family will enjoy her tomorrow. I told him that I'm going to take all the responsibility, that if anything happens to Rukaya, he can do whatever he wants. Currently, she's in lower sixth and she's doing better for herself, but the dad still doesn't care that much. Rukaya is doing part-time work in lower sixth and getting money to support herself. And Rukaya is not the only person with this story, and not everybody's story ends like Rukaya, where she will have the opportunity to go to school.
Working in this media field in filmmaking, especially in camera operation and also documentary production and directing. So this field is significantly dominated in Cameroon by the male gender, because it's hard for you to come across a female camera operator or maybe female sound engineer. I had to create a safe space for me to be in this male-dominated field, and also on how to navigate it, and also how to make people to trust that you can do this, and also get people to believe in the work that you do, and also letting people know that you know what you are doing. But with time, as I started growing and years keep changing, I started meeting other female documentary filmmakers, because I focus on just the making of documentary films. Sometimes I had to let go of my feminine part of me, some of it, in order to belong in this field of work.
a teacher comes to class and is buttoning up a shirt of a girl or telling the girl that your breastway is too exposing, how did you even get to see the breastway of the girl? Or describing the buttocks of the girl, or tapping the girl from the buttocks, or beating her from the buttocks, or touching her breast. This encourages boys to do same, and this violates her right and her consent, and this can make her drop out of school. Measures should be put in a way that the teachers and the students are responsible towards each other.
There are girls that have been sexually harassed by guys in the higher classes, by teachers even. And these are things that really, in a way, affect their education and affect their participation in school. But having them produce good results at the end of the day is equally important.
These girls are not ready for talks around menstruation. So if they don't feel comfortable about it,
because the school environment does not permit for them to menstruate in a hygienic manner. So the toilet is not even permissive for you to go and change your pad. Sometimes you cannot even afford the sanitary pad and the school doesn't provide for that. You rather stay at home, and then after your 3 days or is it 3 or 5 days, whatever cycle you have, you come to school. And now what happens when you miss school? You're missing an exam, you're missing an important thing that the teacher is saying. At the end of the day, it affects your result. In Form 4, I had this classmate who, after we went on sport and everything, she came back. While she was jumping and everything, her pad kind of, she did not put it well, so it shook. And so when she came back and then she changed, she sat and she woke up, just in front. She sat and she woke up and her uniform was stained. And the guy started laughing and jeering at her. She got so traumatized. She was out of school for a while. So these are things that, and I know there are cases where girls have gone and they've never come back. So because first of all, there is that information, that awareness creation is not done enough for us to understand, for the boys to understand that this is a natural occurrence, and equally the fact that the resources are not, the enabling environment is not created for the girl child to be able to, take care of her reproductive health while in school. It actually goes a long way to hamper on their access to education.
The best thing I've done thanks to my education is the aspect of giving back. Because if we don't get people to the level that they can give back, we are just going to be running a rat race and nothing is going to change. I believe in personal development, and when I get knowledge, I use knowledge. I don't just go to school for going to school's sake,
When I think about the things I've been able to do and the number of people I've been able to impact, I'm thinking of the workshops. I've hosted 100 people here in the country, out of the country, the number of campaigns I've hosted online, and the number of young people I've reached. I'm counting over 5,000 young people direct reach that I've been able to touch. And imagine I've been able to put a bit of the drive I feel. You can imagine what they would do in their communities.
Don't look at educating your child as an investment, but also look at it that you are fulfilling your duty and your responsibility as a parent. As human beings, we have to depend on each other to survive, but education has helped us to look for means for survival for ourselves, not just waiting for someone to come and save us.
I've been able to get into spaces. I've been able to travel to about 3 different countries, 3 different African countries. And this has been thanks to my education. And in these spaces, I've learned a lot that have really contributed to my personal growth and equally to my career. Like I'll always mention the Yali leadership program, which I attended, one of my first journeys out of the country. That was in Accra, 2022. And the networks that I was able to build there has enabled me do a lot of cross-country collaborations and projects. I've connected, or I've liaised with friends in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Togo, and I've implemented projects. We have carried out activities. We have done webinars, which have been impactful. So yes.
I started working in 2019. I was sent to Banso, BBH. That was my first place of work, and I was opportune to get into the HIV program. And what I remarked was that most of the patients will not come to hospital for their drugs. And so they were basically packaging medication and sending to these patients. I said, see, there's a lot in the community, especially now with the crisis. We have to go to them. And that's how we made our schedule to visit villages, Geptang, Lasing, Kor, Bamti, a lot of places in the hinterlands, Bonso, and all of that. And each time we went out and came back, the impact was just greater. Through that, we were able to set up and establish support group systems, especially for our patients who are HIV positive. And we saw the impact it had in their lives, I also take part in webinars, WHO webinars, that gathers over 500 people every 3 months. As PATA, we also have our PATA Real sessions that sometimes we gather over 100 people every 3 months. Basically, in the Northwest, I've visited over 20 communities. And in terms of numbers, I'm sure that it will be more than 1,000. Yeah.
When a girl child is educated, she attains her full potentials, and we have a platter of different young ladies doing greater works in the world. Cameroon, for example, we have Ndum Charlotte, and she's doing great when it comes to politics and encouraging young women to embrace politics and to understand that politics is not what they used to think of. We have people like Liz Loom. She's doing so well when it comes to ICT and technology. We have somebody like Sama Midred, who is doing great behind the cameras and debunking the myth of only men working with the camera or doing editing and the rest. And these are people that are pushing the agenda of education forward. And there are so many of them, which I might not list all of them, but they're doing great. And these are people that encourage education in Cameroon and the world.
When a girl learns, she lifts more than herself. She lifts her family and community. Let's not stop at building classrooms. Let's unlearn the limits